92.9 Voice FM. This is The Music Show. And with us on the line is Tony Jordan, a singer and songwriter from Bundaberg. Tony, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. How is everything going over there?
Going great, Tony. It's our first show. Tony, let's just jump straight into it. I want you to drop a bit of a name here. Who's the biggest celebrity or musician who you've either performed with or in front of?
That's besides David, Tony.
Yes. That's a tough one. I've performed at various events and things, but one that's coming to mind is I performed at a celebrity fundraiser with Petro Civoniceva.
Ooh, footy player.
Yeah, he was really nice, and he grabbed one of my EPs. There's a photo of us on Instagram of that one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Does he have a faith?
I believe so. It was a Scripture Union fundraiser, the Mayoral Breakfast.
Nice.
So I believe he talked about how God put him there and, the steps that sort of went to make that happen.
Okay.
So I believe so, but...
So, Tony, tell us a little bit about performing live. Have you ever had a show where just everything's gone wrong?
Oh, there's a few shows where lots of different things have gone wrong. A few at uni where we were being marked and the pressures were very high.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, where the mics would stop working or the whole sound would just turn off or the power went out one time. And during a show at a festival, and you sort of have to keep going, but you can't keep going because there's no power. Keyboards don't work quite as well without power. Things like that have gone wrong occasionally.
And Tony, are there any songs that are like famous songs that you just wish you wrote? Like for me, it would be Yellow by Coldplay. I wish I wrote that song.
Nice.
But sadly I didn't. What about yourself? Is there a song?
There are tons, actually. A lot that just inspire you as soon as you listen to them and you think, oh, that's a great line. I wish I wrote that. I love Adele's music. She's got some really great songs that every time I hear them, I just think, oh, I wish I wrote that. That's so clever. But New Empire, I really love their song One Heart Million Voices that they wrote for the Olympics.
Great song.
It was beautiful and it sort of made it worldwide with that. So, I wish I wrote that one.
Tony, on that note of writing music and writing lyrics, this is like the biggest cliched question in the world, but it's something I'm really keen to know about. What happens with writer's block? Are you under pressure so much sometimes to actually write music, or do you just think, I got writer's block, too bad, I'll come back next week?
Oh, definitely. There's times when both situations apply for me personally. I even wrote a song about it, actually. We're having roadblock one time, writer's block, and I wrote a song about having writer's block. It was really funny. Awesome. But that one's on my EP. It's called Roadside.
Beautiful.
It was really funny, actually.
Yeah.
So, Tony, talking about your EP, how did you react the first time you heard one of your songs from the EP on the radio? Were you in the car at the time or at home? Or?
Yeah, I was actually driving and I heard one of my songs on Rima FM in Hervey Bay.
Yep.
I was really stoked. I did an intro and I sort of couldn't believe it that they were talking about me. And, the song came on and I turned it up real loud and everybody was stoked. So
it's like when preparing for this interview today and Dave was obviously setting it up and then I said, how successful is Tony these days? And just seeing your music on iTunes, I mean, when you first saw it on iTunes, did that feel, wow, I'm getting there?
Yeah, definitely. It's sort of a sense of accomplishment just being online and having an online presence. But when you get it into a store, distributing to so many people, that can be bought all over the world with iTunes. So that's pretty cool to think that somebody overseas has actually picked up my music. You get statements of who's bought your music from and where they're from, which iTunes store. Wow. And a few people overseas have bought it. So that's really cool.
Must be a huge compliment to yourself. So, Tony, what's it like?
It is.
What's it like going into the studio to record your EP? Did you put a lot of pressure on yourself, or was it something that you found fairly easy to get into?
I loved going to studio. I think it's probably one of the best things I've ever done. I got to work with Andy Mack, an amazing producer, and he
helped write some of New Empire's albums, if that's correct.
Yeah, that's right. And he recorded their first few, and Yeah, the whole process was just amazing. I did put a lot of pressure on myself, but I think that's just, part of being an artist. You sort of practice until you get there, and then everything changes anyway in the studio. But it was so much fun, and I got to bring out a lot of different things that I hadn't actually heard in myself before, just with having great guidance and being in a different setting. It was a great experience, and I loved every minute of it. But yeah, we recorded the entire EP in 2 days.
Yep.
So it was pretty hard work as well.
Tony, very last question, and you can't be a fence-sitter for this one. If you had to choose between just purely being a studio artist or purely being a live artist, which would you choose and why?
Oh, that's so tricky. I love
No fence-sitting.
both, but I can't sit on the fence for this. Okay, I would definitely go with performing live, because there's something really special about just looking into people's eyes when you're singing a song, and you can tell that it's really speaking to them. Something is speaking to their spirit, and they're on the same page that you are.
Yeah, it's a bit like Dave and I and what we're doing right now. We're looking into each other's eyes.
It's a scary thought.
And Tim as well. Actually, Tim's deliberately turning the other way. That's great, Tim. Hey, can I just change gears as we finish up? I'd really like to know, how many kids have you got? Are they young kids?
Yeah, I've got 3 children. I've got a 4-year-old, 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And they're all beautiful kids.
And I was going to say, and they're all completely compliant children, aren't they, Tony?
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're all learning lots as we go, as every family does.
Absolutely, as we all do. That's awesome.
Thanks so much for your time, Tony. Before you go, can you give us a quick intro into your track, Springtime?
Hi, this is Tony Jordan, and this is the title track of my EP, Springtime.
That morning in springtime, we ran through the harvest fields of tall flowers. We sang and we danced through the rain. You smiled back then. No one could find us as we lay beside the rows of tall flowers. They would remind us of times gone by. You'd smile again. And I wish that we could go back and rewind the hands of time to the innocence of our childhood we both left behind. We shared a bond that nobody spoke of, a family secret we ponder in silence each day. Fake smile time.